Hello everyone, welcome back to MERN Stack Web Application Development Series. Now we'll be writing some server code which will connect to database, and also we'll be creating models in the objects, the classes, if you will. In Java, what we call as classes will be called models here, and then we will expose them via APIs, different operations that we create. Okay, so you could perform read write on particular database. Okay, so we'll go one by one. So just open your VS Code. Okay, and in the project root directory we are already in. So I want you to just go ahead and create a .env file first. Okay, so this will help us with storing our database details. Okay, so I hope you have your database string handy. Okay, and remember your password. Just copy this thing and paste it into this file. Okay, and I want you to append atlas URI here. Okay, so finally the string should look like this: atlas URI equal to the string that you have copy pasted. Here replace this thing with your password. Okay, the password that you chose while setting up your database. Okay, and here you can give a DB name. Okay, replace this with a DB name. Okay, I will give it as month. Okay, so if this database doesn't exist, it is going to create it. Two things to be replaced: password and database name. Save this file. We don't need it anymore. Okay, and we just need to remember what name we have given here: atlas_UI all in caps. Okay, so next thing we want to get started is connecting to the database or accepting any request from outside. So create a server.js file. Okay, this will act as the primary or the first phase of our application wherever a request comes. Okay, so we need Express. Okay, to handle any incoming request. Okay, so for that we will import Express. Okay, we need core to accept cross origins request. Okay, and we need MongoDB. Okay, MongoDB driver to connect with the MongoDB instance. So this string that you see in the required is obviously coming from the dependencies that we installed earlier. Okay, so if you want to use some particular feature of any of these dependencies, so this is the way to use it in Node.js. Okay, so you see we have imported these three things, and we will be making use of them one by one. Also we want to import this particular so we need .env to read properties from this particular file, which will help us during database connection. Okay, so we will import that as well. Okay, so you can import .env .config. Okay, so this is the way to import the .env. All right, so yeah, let's get started and create an instance of our application. Okay, so the instance of application is created, and we want to assign a port on which the application can run. So process.env.port. Okay, so you can give import here. So what process.env.port is, basically if you have defined any port in the environment level setup, like when you go to Heroku, you might not get the 5000 port available. So any port that is defined by the Heroku deployment, you could use that. But if nothing is defined, you always go to the 5000 default. Like any of this will be picked. Okay. All right, and also we want our application instance to use the course. Okay. All right, and our application will use the JSON processing. Okay, so for that we need express.json. Okay, all right, express.json handler, which will be used for accessing JSON type of data in our application. Okay, all right, so this is the basic setup that you have to do. Okay, and now let's get connected to the database. Okay, so you can do constant URI equal to process.env like we have done before. Okay, there was obviously no port defined in here. Okay, but the Heroku, when we deploy, will have some port defined for us, so we will be using that. But for local we will be using the 5000, but we have something called as atlas URI. Okay, that should be same whether you are using local or Heroku setup, right? So go to mongoose, then try connecting. So first parameter you can see is it is accepting a string. Okay, and then there are few parameters that we want to pass, which is the current option, and yeah, that's all. So just follow along. I'll try to explain all of this. First parameter what we saw was URI. Next is basically few options that we want to give. Okay, all right. So the options. Okay, all right. So first option would be use new URL parser. Okay. So we want the MongoDB Atlas server or the driver to use the new URL parser. Use create index. Okay. And also there is use unified topology. Yep. So yeah, this is the options that we want to have while connecting to the MongoDB. I think that's all, and with this in place, I think we can connect now. Connection equal to mongoose connection. Okay, so how did we connect to the MongoDB is basically import the driver, feed in few configurations, okay, and the URL where our service is hosted. So you could see the cluster address, the username or the password, and which database you want to use. So this should be your confidential string. If you expose this to some other person, he will also be able to connect to your database. Okay, and then you do a mongoose.connection. That's all. The connection should be established. To just verify that, you can do connection.one. Okay, and when the connection is open, you can do a callback which logs if your connection was successful. Okay, we can do console.log MongoDB database connection established. Okay, all right, I missed a comma here. That's yeah. So here we will know if the connection has been established. So if the connection is established, this message will be printed. If not, the connection is going to automatically throw an error, by which you will know the application was not able to connect and there was some error. Okay, so the MongoDB is done, and now we want to get start. We want to make our application start. Okay, to start our application, we have to do app.listen. Okay, on one particular port that we have defined above. Okay, and have a callback which again says the application has started. Okay, okay, I need to put this in server is running. Okay, I think we have, I think I made a mistake here. There is no square bracket. Okay, so yeah, So here we did nothing. We made a database connection. We started our application with the port that we have, either being fetched from .env file or the default, and made few JSON level JSON interaction configuration, and enable the CORS thing. Okay. All right. So we have to run our application. So to run our application, we have to run this node server.js. So I want you to go to terminal, hit new terminal, and then in this particular folder, you can write node server.js. Okay. Now if you run this particular file, if there are no errors, it says server is running. Okay. Server has started first and the database connection was established. Okay. All right. This is a good news. We have started our application without any error. So the server started and the database connection also was successful. Okay. All right. I think that's all from this video. We will again connect in a next video where we will do the remaining steps. Okay. Thank you.